Yu Fu had made a fortune abroad, but worried that his beautiful wife had changed her mind. So he decided to disguise himself as a beggar and go home to test her. He immediately hid the 800 taels of silver he had earned over the past 3 years in a tree hollow, smeared mud on his face, put on beggar's clothes, and returned home looking disheveled. He went to his courtyard gate, knocked gently on the wooden door, and the door opened with a cawing sound. His wife peeked out and saw a beggar standing at the door, his face covered in mud and his clothes tattered. She was stunned for a moment. Then her face showed concern. "Where did you come from, beggar? Come inside and get some shelter from the wind. It's quite cold outside." As his wife was washing dishes, she reached out to pull him inside. The fisherman deliberately spoke in a rough voice, saying, "I'm from out of town. I've been begging all the way here, and I'm too tired to walk anymore. Could you give me some food?" His wife nodded quickly. "Yes, yes, yes. Sit down and rest. I'll heat up some food for you right away." She led him to the stone table in the courtyard, brought him a bowl of hot water, and placed it in front of him. A little while later, his wife brought him a bowl of steaming rice, a dish of pickled vegetables, and a boiled egg. "We don't have anything good at home, so please make do with this." His wife handed him chopsticks and sat down to mend clothes. The fisherman held his bowl, watching his wife's skillful sewing, and a thought began to linger in his mind. He believed I was a beggar so easily and was so kind to me. Could it all be an act? While eating, the fisherman deliberately pretended to accidentally drop his bowl, scattering rice everywhere. He lowered his head, waiting for his wife to get angry, but she quickly got up, saying, "It's all right. It's all right. I'll get you another bowl." She then picked up the broken bowl and went to the kitchen to fetch another bowl of rice. The fisherman took the bowl and asked, "Sister-in-law, where's your husband? Why are you home alone?" His wife sighed. "My husband was a fisherman. He went out fishing 3 years ago and never came back. He must have met with some misfortune. I've been taking care of this family alone. Life is hard, but we manage." The fisherman felt a pang of sadness, but he hardened his heart and continued to probe. "I think you're pretty, sister-in-law. Why don't you find a good family to marry into? That way, you'll have someone to rely on." Upon hearing this, the wife's face darkened instantly. "Brother beggar, don't talk nonsense. Although my husband hasn't returned, I believe he's still alive. I will wait for him. Besides, fidelity is the essence of marriage. How can I seek someone else just because my husband is gone?" Hearing this, the fisherman's doubts lessened somewhat, but he wasn't completely at ease. Just then, a rude shout came from outside the courtyard gate. "Lee, open the door quickly. I've come to see you." Hearing this, the wife's face turned pale instantly. She hurriedly told the fisherman, "Quickly hide in the woodshed. Don't let him see you." The fisherman was puzzled. "Who is this?" he asked. The wife replied urgently, "It's Zhang San, the village thug. He keeps harassing me since my husband isn't here. You'd better hide, or he'll make things difficult for you." Before the fisherman could hide, Zhang San pushed open the door and walked in. Zhang San was burly and had a thuggish look on his face. Seeing the fisherman by the stone table, he frowned and asked Li, "Who is this? What kind of beggar dares to eat in your house?" Li stood in front of the fisherman and said, "He's just a beggar passing by. I gave him some food. It's none of your business." Zhang San sneered. "Li, Your husband has been gone for 3 years. He must be dead. Why are you still clinging to this dilapidated house? Why don't you come with me? I promise you'll live a life of luxury." He reached out to grab Lee's arm, but she forcefully shook him off, angrily saying, "Zhang San, don't go too far. I'd rather starve to death than be with someone like you." Seeing Lee's resistance, Zhang San's temper flared, and he raised his hand to strike her. The fisherman couldn't hold back any longer. He suddenly stood up from the stone bench and grabbed Zhang San's wrist. Zhang San hadn't expected a beggar to have such strength and winced in pain. "You filthy beggar! You dare to meddle in my business? You don't want to live anymore." The fisherman glared at Zhang San and said sternly, "In broad daylight, you dare to harass an innocent woman? Aren't you afraid of breaking the law?" Zhang San tried to break free, but his wrist was gripped tightly, and he couldn't move it. He could only threaten, "Fine, you just wait. I'll go get some men to deal with you." The fisherman released his grip. Zhang San rubbed his wrist, glared fiercely at the two men, and slunk away. Li looked at the fisherman, her face full of gratitude. "Thank you so much, brother, for your help. Otherwise, I would have been in trouble today. But Zhang San definitely won't let this go. What if he leads a rebellion?" The fisherman smiled and said, "Don't worry, sister-in-law. I have a way to deal with him." He went into the woodshed, took out a cloth, wiped the mud off his face, and changed back into his old clothes. Lee stared at the familiar figure for a long time before reacting, excitedly saying, "Husband, is it really you? You're finally back." The fisherman stepped forward and hugged his wife tightly. "It's me, I'm back. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have disguised myself as a beggar to test you." Then, the fisherman told his wife about hiding the silver and explained why he had tested her. His wife wasn't angry. She simply said, "I know it's not easy for you working hard away from home, and it's understandable that you worry about me. But the most important thing between husband and wife is trust." The fisherman nodded. "You're right. I was too foolish." Then, the fisherman took 800 taels of silver from the tree hollow and told his wife, "This silver is what I've saved over the past 3 years. Let's use it to build a new house and start a small business. Life will be better from now on." Not long after, Zhang San indeed brought several of his brothers to cause trouble. As soon as they reached the courtyard gate, they saw the fisherman standing in the yard, with several strong men from the village behind him. It turned out that the fisherman had gone to ask some honest and strong men from the village for help after returning home. Seeing this, Zhang San was terrified and immediately ran away with his men. From then on, Zhang San never dared to harass Li Shi again. The fisherman and his wife used their savings to build a new house and open a small general store. Because of their honesty and integrity, the store thrived, and the villagers envied their loving relationship and prosperous life. Later, the fisherman often told the villagers, "I feel ashamed now that I disguised myself as a beggar to test my wife." The most precious thing between husband and wife is trust. If you don't even trust your own wife, no matter how much money you have, you won't live a secure life. Only by trusting and supporting each other can you make your life better and better. These words reached everyone in the village, and they all kept them in mind. The relationships between couples in the village became increasingly harmonious.